Hi everyone. Good evening, good morning, good night. Hope this find you well. I was just kidding. I was just saying that each day I'm looking more like a guy of the 14th century with this hair, but get used to this because I am willing to live it longer. So who knows? Let's laugh about it. So today we are with the knees. So today I wrote in the blog about the ancestors and why they are connected to the knees. It's related to the knees, the ancestors, because knees are the joints that are flexible in our path, that walks, that go up, that makes the strength to climb, to go up in the stairs, that are flexible in the path while walking. So this is the place of our body where all the information of our path is encoded. So this is why all the history of ourselves is encoded in the knees. It's normal that when we have some conflict or something unsolved in our history, in our family, we may have problems in our legs, in the knees. So when we talk about ancestors, it's not talking about people that have died or people that is before us in history. We are talking about people that is still living within us. So this one of the things that I was trying to explain was about what is a person, what is an individual. And a person is just the conjunction of emotions, intentions, and perceptions of who it is. But when a person dies, when someone dies, the body just disappears, starts to transform itself, and the person spreads around in different dimensions as a soul, and of course through our biology heritage. So this is why the information of all our ancestors lives within us. And basically another thing is that it's not that they are different people. We are that people, okay? We are them. And it doesn't matter if I was adopted or whatever. The information is there because I exist. So the information towards the future is given to our sons and daughters, the childs, through biology. But those who doesn't have childs, they spread this information to all the people that they have shared with through their life. Obviously, the biology part is even much stronger than the emotional one. So it's stronger by biology because, of course, it's almost an obligation that you give that information to others. But when you don't have child, when you don't have no one, you just share the emotion. You just that the emotion can be spread easily. Okay, so it can be lost easily. So everything that in the past other people hadn't solved, conflicts unsolved, So we inherit that and we have to solve it. So one of the things that we have as humans is because we see everything separated. And one of the main ideas that we can possibly have is why we have to solve the problems of other people. The other people problems. Why? So the question would be, why, if I have a lot to solve with my own problems, with my past lives problems, why do I have to solve the other people problems? And the thing is that these other people is not me. It's not different people. It's also me. It's myself living in different bodies through history. And for this, we have to understand two different things. To understand these two, we have to understand that anything in the universe is separated. Everything is united, one. So I have two different stories. So we have two ways. One is my soul history, which is energetical history. The other one is the physical history of my body. So imagine that these two paths are mom and dad, the soul, the mom, the body, the dad, and also we have the two knees, okay? One left knee and right knee. These two paths are in the same way, okay? I was just saying in a moment that a lot of people is saying why I'm speaking two languages, put subtitles, and I cannot do that because putting subtitles is very difficult, and I am improvising, okay, constantly, so it's very difficult, and of course I want you all to have the vibration of what I'm saying, and I would ask for you to just have patience, to be patient, and to just listen with attention when I'm speaking in English, if that bothers you when I speak in Spanish. Thank you. So these two paths, the soul and the body, mom and dad, energy, biology, and the two knees are our history. So the thing is, in the path of biology, the path of my body, it's not that I was born right now, and when I am going to die, when I die, it just ends, myself finished. No, my body is the product of a very long life in which the energy and the biology starts to transform itself constantly in different bodies. So I don't have just this body. Matthias is not just this body. I am all the product of each one of the lives through where my biology went through. So this means that each one of my ancestors is kind of a past life for me. Okay? So the other thing is the emotional one, or the soul. Okay? The soul is the one that, instead of just going into the biology path, it goes from one group of biology to another. Okay? It's moving from one dimension to another group of races and animals and so on. So this is more related to myself, and this is what I usually call my past lives. So we have two different paths from where I lived past lives. One through my ancestors, and the other one through my soul. So the main one is the one of our souls, that we usually call, this one is the one that lived so many past lives. So it's my soul that lived in different countries, in different timelines, whatever. But then we have the body, and the body was my grandmother, grandfather, and so on, all my genealogical tree, that also is my past life. So this is why sometimes we may feel that we remember a past life from our soul, but it's not our soul, it's the memory of an ancestor, of someone from my DNA. So when I am working about past lives, it's not just about talking about myself. It's also talking about my ancestors. So I cannot be separated from them, from those memories, because I am them. I am them in a different body, in a different shape, in a different situation, a different time. But I am them. So the best way to understand this is through the process of water. You may know the cycle of water. Of course, the ocean evaporates, gas goes to the clouds, the gas goes to the mountains, start to drop, and every drop of water is a different being, and also can be frozen, so it becomes a snowflake, and they are unique, different, like we are. But then they melt, they go back to a river, from the river to the ocean again, and they can be split in many billions of shapes: ice, clouds, different gases, different lakes, lagoons, seas, rivers, whatever. But they all are water. All water. So when we talk about soul and body, we have to think that we are talking about gas and ice. Two different shapes of water. That's it. So everything that we are now is just the result of every one of the cycles of water. So we have to picture that all the ice, snowflakes, glaciers are the bodies and different bodies that we have, and then the gases, the clouds in the sky, they are the soul. So very different, but they are water. So this is why it's so difficult to speak universally about family, because what we do is to create clans inside an only being. But we all come from the same essence. And this is why mostly we all share the same story. So the concept of family is just something linear, a concept, linear concept. So one of the main things we have to understand is that when we are trying to heal our ancestors, we are not healing other people. We are just arranging ourselves. We are just looking for the balance in our own body. So now I will say something that is very difficult to accept. And the thing is that this is endless, that it never ends. And why it never ends? Because we are eternal. So the goal is not to heal everything, to be the best human ever in history. No, our goal is to try to find harmony in the process of going through history. This is why usually when we solve a problem, comes another one, a new one. So I was talking about, imagine 90,000 people, according to this mathematics of going backwards in history and biology. It's not precisely like that, but you can picture the idea that you need approximately 90,000 people in the past, in just 500 years, to create you. So I could be born. So imagine yourself trying to solve the problems of 90,000 people in just one life. It's impossible. So what we have to reach for is harmony between all of them. So imagine this, that I can only solve the problems of all these people that resounds with me. I cannot resound with the 90,000 people of the last 500 years that were connected to me. I can only solve the problems that are aligned with me, that are resounded with me. My problems had a specific energy that matches with the problems of other people in my history. But maybe my kids will have other problems that are matching with some other people. So it's just a wheel, soft. So one of the things that we need to understand about this is that our goal is not to heal our history so we could start from the very beginning with a new history, with a new story. Because we are all that story. We are all that from the very beginning. So what we are doing is not trying to get rid of the past. What we are trying to do is to comprehend that past, to put awareness to that, to integrate that information. And when we do so, we can use that in our present, as a gift, as a tool. Okay? There's no need to understand this right now. I know is too much information, maybe, but you will have your time. Maybe you can listen to this many times, and maybe in some other moment by yourself. No rush. The important thing is that we become aware step by step. There's no rush. Remember that here now we are trying to close a cycle of history to start a new one, but we are picking the information from the past so we could build something new in the future. We are not doing this to just clean everything and go into a better life. That's a Hinduism concept. The reality is that we are just one only body changing shapes. Okay? So this is why when we start to work with our own body, to align the history of our own body, we can start with also balancing the history of our body through the history. So the reason why we think that, oh my God, this is too much, is because we are designed as a body, we are designed to die. So we are prepared to die. So when someone talks about eternity, it seems like, oh my God, no, I want to die. I want this to finish. But eternity is amazing because you transform yourself constantly. The only thing that is exhausting is the concept of being like a hamster, rolling in the same wheel constantly, the same. This is exhausting. If I change the perception of this wheel, I transform that in a spiral. So I will always be changing and watching a different perspective. So we don't have to get desperate. We have time. And all this just to make you the idea that those are the concepts that we need to clarify for our needs. So we are in the month of the Leo constellation related to the potential of Icon in the day of the knees related to in the week of emotion. So the vibration we are going to use today is Hu. Hu. The H means life, history, and U, not you. U means knees and also the path to go ahead. So the statement for today is, I am the life that creates the path, or I am the path of life, whatever is useful for you. So the information of the day is related to the sound E, the vibration E, and it says, in the heart of the cosmos, the soul generates energy, positive and negative, that highly vibrates in this sound, invading all the possible spaces with its pulse, its beating, making the creation vibrate to its limits, generating light, energy, emotion. So we start to make a massage to the body, to yawn, to stretch the body. Closing my eyes. We focus in the alignment now. Stop writing. We caress our bodies. We thank our body for being the anchor of the spirit in the matter. I relax, focusing on my breathing. Take a deep breath. I become aware of every breathing in and every breathing out. I feel the oxygen going to my lungs, heart, blood, muscles and organs, coming out through my skin. I feel all the heat of my body coming out, filling up all my aura. I recognize this heat and become aware that this heat are my emotions. I observe the color of my aura. I allow the idea of that color come to me. I take a moment now to think about all the things that I have done today and the emotions that are related to those things. Take a deep breath. With my hands, I attract all these emotions of today with my color and the heat, and I bring them all towards my knees. I start to build this circle, this wheel around my knees. I recognize that these emotions are the energy, the tools chosen by my higher self to activate the chakra of my knees. I recognize that my knees are connected to all my history, to the history of my soul, the history of my body, to my mom, to my dad. Take a moment to think about the faces of your mom and your dad. And if I don't know them, I just imagine them. Take a deep breath. Without much thinking, I just picture the faces of my grandparents behind them. Breathe in. And I start to feel the parents of my grandparents, and their parents, and their parents, and so on, until I can watch, perceive hundreds and thousands of people surrounding me, all of them my ancestors. They all are the circle of each one of my emotions. I become aware that everything that I am is made up of thousands of pieces that are parts of each one of them. I contemplate this meeting of ancestors connected to my niece. Take a deep breath, descend into I am towards my niece. I can face my ancestors. I can integrate my history. I can activate the potential of my family. So I start to pronounce the sound, the vibration, and perceive how this wheel around my knees starts to spin faster and faster as I pronounce it, watching how the energy is absorbed by the chakra of my knees, which starts to enlighten brighter and brighter. I keep pronouncing the vibration, perceiving the energy vibrates faster and faster. I perceive the light of my knees shining brighter and brighter. Watch, imagine how this light makes the faces of each one of my ancestors brighter. Lleva la luz de tus rodillas hacia todo el círculo de tus ancestros. Bring the light of your knees to the circle of ancestors surrounding you, watching you. Bring the light to them. Recognize. I honor my history. for I am my history. I have not come here to erase anything from my history. I have come here to integrate my history within me. I can integrate my history. Observe how your ancestors are surrounded by the light of your knees, and watch, perceive how they start to become absorbed by the energy of your knees. As energy. I receive the forces and the strength, the potential of each one of them. With each deep breathing, even more and more ancestors are integrated in my knees. Observe how all these ancestors are being swallowed by the chakra of the knees with a lot of love, until you just can see your mom and dad. Without judgment on anything that I have lived with them, I recognize that they are the fundamental pillars of my reality, of my body. Take a deep breath, bringing your dad to your right knee. I honor each one of the patterns of my existence. Recognizing from the consciousness that these patterns doesn't limit me, but they give me tools to build my future. Take a deep breath. Breathing in, I take the energy of my mother to my left knee. I take a deep breath and recognize from the consciousness that every matrix is not making me prisoner of its network, but it's helping me to weave the links to create my own reality. Breathe in. Feel your light shining and watch each one of the persons that are now connected in the network. I recognize each one of them are part of my body, so they are part of my family. the history of each one of them is my own history too. I am the life in each path. I am every path of life. I am every path of life. I am all the path of life. And every path lives in me. Take a deep breath, take your hands to your heart. I am the history of life. And softly I start to spread all this consciousness from my heart to every part of my body, stretching the body, caressing the body, yawning. And opening my eyes. You can walk barefoot. We are integrating things from the past, so as always I would say rest a lot. Bueno. So thank you for being there, for being connected, and see you tomorrow for the feet. Good night.